My parents' decision to adopt came because my father has a very rare degenerative disorder called Charcot-Marie-Tooth syndrome. It's considered an orphan disease because so few of the population have it, it's not really studied. It's passed through opposite-sex parents. So if they were to have a biological child themselves and it was a girl, there'd be a 99% chance this child would have it. It's degenerative, it's a central nervous system disorder, so it gets worse over time and appears in young adulthood. It's not life-threatening, but it's a hard disease to live with. So they knew very early on that they wanted to adopt, and they decided to adopt internationally. The story of how I was adopted is pretty interesting. My adoptive father is a clinical psychologist. He did some vocational work with B'nai B'rith, a Jewish organization in Minnesota where my family lives. He was working in Guatemala, Venezuela, and Colombia, and somehow ran across a rabbi in Colombia. They knew they wanted to adopt, so they got connected with this rabbi who connected them with an orphanage called FANA in Bogota, Colombia, and that's how they came to adopt me. The funny thing about my family is we could probably be the most diverse family you'd find, especially in Minnesota. My dad was Jewish. We weren't in a Jewish community. Being a Colombian, I was definitely one of the only, probably one or two other different nationalities in the whole school that I was in terms of elementary school. So that was a little different and a little odd at first. It took some getting used to because as you're growing up and being a woman, your perception of beauty is largely defined by what you see around you, and blonde blue eyes were what it was. So that was a little different, a little interesting, but I always had the backing from my family that I was special, so I tried to carry that through. I grew up in Minnetonka, Minnesota. It's not really the first place you'd consider taking a baby from Bogota, Colombia. It's a little colder, but I had a great childhood, and since I could understand what it was like to be adopted, my family was very open. My mom has blue eyes and blonde hair. So there was that point in time where I was like, I don't really look like you. And she's like, no, you don't. And here's why. You were chosen. We picked you. And as I got older and became more age appropriate to tell me different things about, my where I came from, my origin, that happened. But it was never a secret. My family was always embracing the diversity and how interesting this is. You come from a different country and all that kind of thing. So I had a great childhood, and I think I have the best family. I couldn't choose a better one.